back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about stocking up, but stocking up when you are lacking space. Many of you have been messaging, of course, saying that if you don't have a luxury of having a pantry or huge kitchen or maybe a garage, what do you do and how do you stock up? Easily said than done when you have a kitchen and a pantry. Absolutely, guys, I totally agree with you. I know some lucky guys, I think mainly like in America, they have massive pantries or cellars, whatever you call them. I live in the UK, we don't have a luxury of cellars. Some houses do, but really rarely. So genuinely we don't. We generally have quite a small kitchens, and we normally have a garage, and sometimes people have utility rooms, but we do have what we call like a utility cupboards. Not all the time, not in every house, but we do basically have like a cupboard in the hallways that you can normally put your Hoover and stuff like that. So for myself, I don't have a pantry per se. I keep my stock in my 2 utility cupboards. We have a garage, we have allocated area there. We have a fairly large kitchen where I keep my stock in specific areas of the cupboard. I will go through this in some different video, but basically if I have my oil cupboard where I use my oil, I have majority of my oils there for like 3 to 6 months, and then everything else goes into overflow cupboard. And I have my sort of like a pantry kitchen cupboard, which is a tall cupboard where I have some other stuff. So basically I don't have like a massive room. I could transfer one of the bedrooms into the stockpiling room, but I choose at the moment not to. However, I do have a lot of banana boxes filled with stuff hiding under the pool table. Nonetheless, anyway, this video, guys, is for some of you who are saying, obviously, if you don't have the space, you can prep. Well, I'm going to give you some examples and hopefully help you in, well, still prepping and finding the room to prep. So first of all, I would say if you do have a cupboard under the stairs or cupboard that you have a tall cupboard for the Hoover, just clear this out. Many of you again commented, clear the rubbish cupboards out, clear the rubbish, cleanse yourself, and maybe put some racking in there, and you're able to obviously start sort of piling up and start preparing. I have a rubbish cupboard in the kitchen, right? It's been there for ages, and I've been prepping for ages, but I have a cupboard right there. It's quite a sizable cupboard, but to be fair, I've always been dumping stuff there. I have initial things that I want, maybe occasional tin there and there, but it's very untidy. It's a large cupboard, but it's not really used to its full potential. So at some point, I'm gonna get all the stuff out, and some things there are like literally few years out of date, especially right at the back. For some reason, I haven't really brought myself into looking through that one. So I might do the video for that and see if anybody interested to see what, you know, how I was in my old cupboard. But anyway, so yes, basically start with that. Start with tidying up your kitchen cupboard or clearing up your hallway cupboard or whatever cupboard you have. Secondly, we all have kitchen cupboards, right? And really rarely, in the previous house, yes, they were all the way to the ceiling. In America, I think you guys have them all the way to the ceiling. But in here in UK, quite often, you have a big space in the top of your kitchen cupboard. So I keep some random messy stuff out there because it's quite high up, I don't get to see it. However, you can put boxes in there. You can store really light things out there. There is space up the top of your cupboards. At the same time, contrary, there's a space underneath your cupboards. I mentioned in one of the other videos, thanks to one of my viewers, that if you take the plinth of your kitchen cupboard, there's a space there about this tall. You can put the tins in there. You can easily put water in there. You can basically put anything that, so long as you protect it from like spiders and a bit of dust, you can use that space. If you think the average kitchen unit is like 60 centimeters deep, even if you have 2 of those units, that's like 120 by 60, you could fit a lot of tins in there. So it's something to think about. If you don't, guys, have any of this sort of larger spaces available, this is my country comparison. This is the amount of food in here, plus, 2 extra tins that I haven't got out because I don't have any curry ones to compare. Nonetheless, this is the same amount of food in this form that you can buy in this form. You can see clearly it takes far less space. So even if you allocate one of your smallest kitchen cupboards, you can fit so much more in there if you shop cleverly. I'll take you briefly through that. It may be a no-brainer to some of you already, but maybe some of you don't know. So I'm just going to quickly take you through. So, tomato puree. There's a tube. You can still buy them for 39p in Lidl, and they're 45p, I think, at Tesco's. Nonetheless, the point is, one of those, right, you can make 2 of those from that. For some reason, I still always buy passata as well as anyway, because I use this for pizza bases, but One of those will create 2 of those with either water or stock. So if you suddenly want to keep like 10 or 20 of them, you only need to keep 5 of them. It takes far less space. I'm going to take this away as I go. Right, I mentioned this in my other video. Curry, this is a hard like curry block if you wish. This will make 1.5 litres of curry. This means it's 3 to 4 of them, depending on the brand. Imagine 4 jars of that, 1 of them. Yeah, so you can easily stock this in a cupboard if you don't have the space. Good comparison. Soups. This one is 25 portions. If you've seen my other video, those things are amazing. 25 portions, this is 12 cans. 25 portions are smaller portions. However, I've doubled this, so we'll make this half of that. This is what you get. So imagine the amount of tins to one of those. 12 tins to one of those. How much space are you saving? Loads. And those soups are great. And especially now, Friday, Amazon done them on a Friday, oh my God, Black Friday deal. So they're gone a bit cheaper. So again, something to consider. It's a lot of space saved. Right, the same thing, guys. Custard powder. So we have, look at that. 2 of them against 2 of them. They're the Asda's ones. Of course, the quality probably would not be as good. This has have to be diluted with water. This is obviously probably made with some sort of a milk. I don't know. But again, we're talking, guys, when you're struggling for space, look at that. So if you wanted like to make 10, 20, this will barely take any space, and you can. And they'll probably outlast that any day. Any day. Noodles. I know this is a bit odd one, but we occasionally like a pot noodle. I know that's a bit, you know, not particularly the healthiest thing, but now and then as a snack, it's absolutely great. They're awkward. They're 90 grams. You can buy those. They are 100, sometimes 110 grams, depending on the brand. 2 of them, up to 2 of them. Again, you can run, the cupboards are square. They're round. You can run them in. Far more of them, put 2 of them. So again, if you wanted to stock up on the noodles there, don't buy that, buy that. And they're cheaper anyway. And of course, the last but not least, I don't know, I'm taking away now. Anyway, pastas, guys. Oh, I'm not going to move that because they don't stack. Take that away. Yeah, this is 3 kilos of Tesco fusilli pasta. It's a big bag and it's a bit awkward. And this is 3 kilos of Tesco's spaghetti pasta. It's just so much more easier to store. If you think again, if you just pile them up in a cupboard, if you smallest cupboard, you shove them in a corner, you can literally pile them up high, it will just take so much less space. So I'm hoping, I know it's a bit odd one and I'm rambling on, but I just wanted to get the point across. Think outside the box. I said it in the other video, think outside the box and think basically, if you only have one cupboard, then just make the best use of it. Yes, tins are great, tins are easy, but to be fair, the powder soup is just as easy. Yes, you have to boil the water, and of course you come and say, well, what if we don't have water? Well, you know, if you don't have water, let's buy purification tablets. The Oasis do a lot of tablets, so you can collect rainwater, you purify it. But we're talking about, at the moment, this is video for, not for the end of the world tap scenario. This is a video for prepping, and let's hope we still have a tap water running, so you can boil a kettle and rehydrate your instant custard. This is literally, if you're really desperate or really worried about ability to stock some of your preps, then there are alternatives that are far less space conserving really. So anything that is concentrated or powdered generally will take far less space. Don't forget, if you think, look around your house, like for example, here in our bedroom, I've dedicated a whole cupboard to my scenario where we might have to stay in a room with the sealed windows. That's a different video. Nonetheless, just clear some stuff, get rid of some unnecessary clothing, rubbish, whatever you have in there. I'm sure you can find a drawer somewhere or a little box. Even if you have, I've seen people doing, guys, like you can buy a storage boxes, right? Or even you can reuse a box from whatever. And you put some stuff in there. You seal it up and you either wallpaper it, I know it sounds like, but I've seen people do this, or you put some cloth or some fabric over the top of this, and then you put not a candle on top, but you put like vase or something or plant on the top of it. Make it a bit less obscure, somewhere in a corner. So you can always make space for little preps. So I'm gonna stop talking now, and hopefully guys you at least found it helpful. If you do any questions or comments, please comment below. Don't forget thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.